because you've said something that I haven't elaborated on this show much, right? There, two things. One, conservative ideology, trickle-down economics, the standard, the status quo as it is right now, even underneath President Obama, is not conducive to small businesses, like genuinely small businesses. You can get screwed just as much being as a small business owner as you would, depending on what state you're in, as you would just being an average middle class worker living paycheck to paycheck. It is difficult in some places to run a small business. And so when Republicans a lot of times say things about we're going to do things to help businesses out, and then they'll throw in small businesses, really their definition of small business is not our definition of small business. And it's that play on words that they've been able to do, use over the years, which quite honestly has exposed legitimately small business owners. Has really, really screwed them. So that's the one thing. And then the flip side of it is they're quite a bit of Wall Street, and I don't want to use Wall Street so much as just business owners, right? People who are in the tech industry, people who are in the financial markets. They support Bernie Sanders not because they are doing it, like you said, it's not a protest vote. They support him because they realize that his policies are not going to destroy core capitalism. His policies are not going to destroy Wall Street. It's going to bring it back into balance so that it can benefit. What did Robert Reich say? He's got to save capitalism from itself. That's the title of Reich's new book. And I think a lot of people are really seeing past exactly what you said in this. And that's a really great point. They're seeing past this red scare, and they're seeing that he's actually proposing policies that helped America grow in the first place. Sorry for cutting you off, man. Go ahead and unpack that a little bit more. But I just had to say that.
Well, I just wanted to expand by, like, Robert Reich made that capitalism, how to save capitalism for everyone. Book, but I remember a documentary that Michael Moore featured in. It wasn't one of his own, but that he featured in, where he was asked why a capitalist publishing agency owned by a big corporation would publish and distribute his movies. Because he's wailing against what they're doing. And he said, well, it's very simple. It's because the true capitalist will sell you the rope you need to hang him. And that's
one side of it, yeah.
That is the flip side, like the armament industry. Yeah, we got to get up armament sales. Now, can you imagine what would happen if all the guns in the United States were one day actually pulled out and formed a militia that took back the government? I mean, that kind of fighting would not be conducive to capitalism, corporatism, or the status quo. So, but they themselves have sold these weapons out to civilians to actually have them on their own. So capitalism in that sense is blind. Greed is blind. And there is a core value system. I don't know how many of you know about Max Weber, a German law professor and economist and one of the fathers of sociology. He's one of those guys. He had more titles than letters in his name. And he talks about capitalism before the industrial age, where it was more of a I take care of my workers because my workers are a part of my own. But as what is later described as cutthroat capitalism advances, where it's just maximizing profit, those businesses get run into the gutter because the other model in the short term is better and more profitable, and they're more conducive and seductive. So they will run the old regime into the ground. So now you no longer have, and I won't say no longer, but there are very few of those people who own big companies or medium-sized companies who actually really care about their workers. To them, they're just numbers on a page of expenses.
Right, right. Actually, and you pronounce his last name, I guess, Weber. I guess that's the proper way. I know Max Weber, Max Weber from some of his other work on international relations, particularly his study on the monopoly on power, the legitimate monopoly on power. So I have to look into more of his work in that regard, whether it's cutthroat capitalism versus investing. When what you're describing is, to me, sounds more like the zero-sum capitalism versus positive-sum capitalism. Are we just going to extract and leave nothing, or are we going to allow capitalism to feed itself? But coming back up to the 30,000 foot level, this was in context of the conversation on Bernie Sanders getting support from businessmen, from corporations, from I know quite a few organizations here in Boston who are legitimate businesses that you can find on the ticker on the stock exchange, and quite a few. The culture around them, they like Bernie Sanders. So I really appreciate the fact that not everyone buys into this fear of communism, of socialism, as a way of keeping us from making legitimate progress. All right, I have a caller who's been patient.